someone recently got into a conversation with me, and they asked me a very pertinent question, and it was via email. You guys know how to reach me, and kind of in person, kind of in email at the same time. But they asked me two questions. They were like, "Hey, Bror Fredrik, you seem to have your finger on the pulse of relationship situations, the male and female dynamic." And I'm like, "Hey, I know some stuff. I learned some stuff." So they asked me two simple questions. One, what is the most valuable thing a woman can give to a man? And what is the most valuable thing a man can give to a woman? And we're going to talk about that. Love is not the answer. No, it's not. Sex and money is not the answer either. The answer is going to surprise you people. Well, it's my opinion. And if you choose to come along for the ride of my opinion, so be it. But it is my opinion. But it's not what you think. Trust and security? Not so much. Respect, support? No. Peace? That's one of them. Trust and respect? No. Attention? All right, well, we're getting warmer. We're getting warm. But what about, all right, we're going to talk about this. I can see this is going to be interesting. Like I said, it might stir the pot a little bit. Positive compliments. No. All right, we got to dive a little deeper. All right, I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to wet my whistle a little bit. And then we'll talk about, what we're going to talk about. I know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, and while I'm drinking water, you can start dropping it in the comments. Two things. We might only get to one, depending on the feedback, but like I said earlier, someone asked me in a conversation, what is the most valuable thing a woman can give to a man? And what is the most valuable thing a man can give to a woman? Well, I'm drinking water. Drop it in the chat and let me know. All right, I'm reading. Time, trust, happy ending, smart water. Oh, it smells like dookies over here. Someone dookie in the bushes? That's gross. Communication, honesty, loyalty, security. Have their back no matter what. Time, a child, loyalty, respect. Make a woman feel safe. Keep it going. Love. Respect. New golf clubs. Low body count. Phil might be onto something. What up, 26 months? What up, Phil? I miss you, bro. A child, a promise, security, a big O, someone to listen, a cell phone, TikTok. A simple, good game. All right, keep it going. I'm reading them as I'm drinking. Boobies, cooking, companionship, no nagging, attention. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing. Gawk 3000. What does that mean? I don't know. We're naming off. Okay, I'm going to still keep on this for a while because I'm enjoying reading these things. I want to see who gets it. What is the most precious thing, the most valuable thing a woman can give to a man? And what is the most valuable thing a man can give to a woman? That's what we're going to discuss. It definitely smells like someone dumped in the bushes over here. It's nasty. Oh, I saw a correct answer. I guess I did. Peace, freedom, children. Oh, okay, let me say this. All right, let me rephrase that. The most valuable thing a woman can give to a man besides a child. How you doing? Hi. Like, what do you give to him? What do you give to him? And I'll keep narrowing it down because you're going to get it. Loyalty and exclusivity, purpose, money, freedom, a pet, gas money, praise, emotional support, a slap on that, yeah, a new bowling ball, peace of mind. Yeah, I mean, these are all, okay, all right, now I'm going to narrow it down. Now I'm going to make it a little easier. Trying to think, let's see, how much time we got? I got an hour. Got an hour. All right. This should. It might not take an hour. Maybe we could do both men and women in one shot. Let's see. And I'm going to cut this out into a separate segment because this, the world needs to hear this. And this, again, these are my opinions. You can be on board, you're not, but I'm just here to, let's see, stimulate some conversation. I just don't want to get run it over here. Where's the crossing guard? Where's the drunk ass crossing guards? This guy's not paying attention to nothing. He's on Snapchat, sending D pics. Okay, I'm gonna narrow it down, make this a little easier. Okay, the thing that, hope this doesn't get spanked. The thing that a woman, the most valuable thing that a woman can give to a man, like 99.9% of men will never get it. Will never get it. They just have to go on in their existence through life, in and out of relationships, without ever getting it from a woman. And it's just something a man has to resign himself to, for the most part, unless things change dramatically. All right, does that help? Total loyalty, understanding, a lap dance. Whew, I'm a little out of breath. Respect. Independence, security. All right. I know it's going to piss a bunch of people off. The most valuable thing a woman has that she can give to a man can only be given once, and that's her virginity. That's her purity. Bottom line. And every guy wants it. Only one man gets it. So 99.9% of the men on the planet never have that. Never have that from the woman that they love, care about, want to wife up, etc., etc., etc. Because that's equivalent to time. Because once that's given away, you can't give it to more than one person. That is truth. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow for men. And it's a tougher pill to swallow for women. Because now, in the new age of modern women, that's almost frowned upon. But it's something that men are programmed to want and desire and view as an absolute plus. Now, there's exceptions to that rule. There might be men out there who don't care. I mean, face it, there's guys out there who marry, corn stars. I consider them like lacking in self-respect, but it is what it is. So there are exceptions to that rule. The other exception is men who never get any might have an exception to that rule. The other people that might have an exception to that rule is, that desire, not a rule, the innate desire of a man to wholly want a woman, that's had no previous experience before him. Young, inexperienced men, because they're just like, hey, like when we were kids, we used to have all these things like, we say things like this. I mean, how crass this sounds. This is the inside of the male brain. Back when I was a kid, we used to be like, hey, if she smokes, she pokes. Believe it or not, tell me I'm wrong, guys. If she smokes, she pokes, you know? Because we'd be of the belief that a woman who smokes was more apt to give it up, to be easy, you know? But look at the context of that, though. Look at the context of that mentality. The context of that mentality is not based on relationships. It's based on knocking boots. And women, from the beginning of time till the end of time, will always be the gatekeepers of sex. It's a given. But men, are the gatekeepers of relationships. It doesn't matter how bad a woman wants to have a relationship. If there isn't a guy willing to establish a relationship with her, it's just simply not going to happen. You can't force a man into a relationship unless, you trap him with a baby or something. But even then, that might not pan out. An anchor baby. And likewise, a woman has always been the gatekeeper of sex, because it doesn't matter how bad you want to have sex with a woman, if she says no, it's no. And let's not talk about the other thing that might happen with the tiny minority of men who would just, belong in prison or dead. But yeah, so that's the way it works. So there is a mentality, but the mentality of guys who don't care or will even foster conversations about it and yada, yada, yada. It's a very immature mindset, or it's a mindset born out of, just wanting to hook up. Because once you get into the mindset of having a relationship with an individual, everything changes. Because whether people want to believe it or not, especially women, whether they want to believe it or not, women look at a man's future. Women are more focused on a man's future, what he's doing with his life, what his potential is, where he's going, what is his earning capability, that type of stuff. Women wait at the finish line, and want to pick as many winners as they can. So women are more concerned about a man's future. On the other hand, men are more concerned about a woman's past than her future, which that probably makes a lot of women their heads explode. But men are more concerned about your past than your future. You know why? Because that's a really deep conversation in and of itself. But as far as we're concerned, if we're going to wife you or have a relationship, your future is with us. We're just okay, we're making a lifelong commitment to have you part of our life, part of our frame, involved in everything. Commitment to take care of you, commitment to provide for you, commitment to love you. Oh shit, I gotta shut this off, damn. So as I was saying, so we don't care about a woman's future because we take it upon ourselves as men. Yes, I read in the comments there's exceptions to everything, but the exception does not disprove the rule. A fossil is technically shit. So you can say all shit stinks. No, it doesn't, because there's a fossil of a dinosaur turd and it doesn't smell. That doesn't change the facts that shit stinks. So the exception does not change the rule whatsoever. There's always outliers and exceptions. But when we bring a woman into our frame, into our lives as a partner, we're making a commitment to provide, to love, to support, to do all the things expected of us, hopefully without having to ask. We just do it freely because we understand the responsibility of being a man and taking on a responsibility of a woman. And so we're not concerned about the future because we hopefully are the ones who are providing it. But we are concerned about the past because it's just our nature, Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that a woman who has bestowed the most precious gift that she can possibly bestow on a man if she cannot bestow it on you? Is that a problem? Does that negate a relationship? Does that negate wifing her up? Well, you know, if you're raised around enough Italians, there's an expression, as I was, you know. All right, I'll give you the extreme case. The extreme case would be, all right, find out how many, if you want to wife her up, find out how many dudes she's been with and go and whack them all. And if there's too many, whack her too. That's an extreme case. I don't support it, but I'm just talking about the mentality of men. That being said, does that negate everything? Does that mean you're not qualified? Does that mean that, you know, men will detest? Does that mean whatever? Not necessarily. Do I believe in the concept of the born-again virgin? Absolutely not. But here's the thing. Does that negate it? Do I believe in the concept of the born-again virgin? Absolutely not. No such thing. Once you've given that away, well, I was young and stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know, feminism, the sexual revolution, SLUT shaming. I've heard all the excuses in the book. Ladies. All right, let's chill out a second here. Okay, I've heard all the things. Well, I didn't know, had I known, blah, blah, blah. We're not even talking about body count yet. That's a whole nother issue, the concept of body count. But let's not even delve into that. Let's just talk about the valuable gift. All right, now, born-again virgin, no. So, based on that, a man who 99.99999% of all men will never get that from the partner that they're interested in, especially the older they get. And women are always like, oh, you know, he's going after these 20-year-olds. Well, there's a reason for that, and that happens to be one of them. But besides that, all right, so based on the fact that men, since the beginning of time, have learned to accept the fact that, for the most part, he is not the recipient of the most precious thing a woman could possibly give to him, he's resigned himself to that fact, right? Men have developed coping mechanisms. Men have developed a serious case of rose glasses when it comes to that. You know, we've learned cumulatively, I mean, again, there are exceptions. We've learned, I wouldn't say that it's not realistic. It's highly realistic, but that depends on, you know, that's because, how would I say, it's a woman's thing. You know, women have, like, stopped caring about that situation. It's just like, you know, it's just, what is it, a modern thing, times have changed, blah, 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 blah. You know, no, you know, times have not changed. You know, people's thinking about it has changed. It doesn't change the fact that that is a desire of the male of the species. But again, we have developed a coping mechanism. So basically, when a man decides he's going to get into a relationship, well, that looks pretty freaking cool. There she is. Ain't riding today. Ain't riding today. So we've developed these coping mechanisms that allow us to function despite knowing that, especially the older we get, that there's 0% chance that someone got the most precious thing that the woman you're interested in can ever give to a man was given to somebody else. And that is a tough pill to swallow. But again, the coping mechanisms are such that we've learned how to suppress that, and we've learned how to ignore that. And the problem crops up when we find out about things. Like, I always recommend to all guys, don't ask questions you do not want the answer to. Just don't, in any category, but especially that category, because a woman will tell you. She'll tell you the things you don't want to hear. That'll make your freaking head explode. And then the problems just start from there. So what I would recommend is, based on the fact that the likelihood is like 0.000001 that you're actually ever going to get a pure woman in this life and in this country, find one that plays the game with you, that does not bring up exes, that does not talk about the past, that does not have points of comparison, that doesn't bring baggage and things into a relationship. Ladies, this is how guys think. All right, we come over, right? And you put on like your best red negligee. If we're just there to knock boots, who cares? We rip it off and we move on. But if we're down with the whole relationship thing, we're entering into one, already into one, and you whip out the same red negligee that we haven't seen before and we didn't buy with you at Victoria's Secrets or Ross, you know what goes through our heads? Wonder who else she's worn that for. Guys, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm not dropping the truth bombs right now. That's how we think. So what can a woman do to avoid that tension in a relationship? What's going on here is purge. Get rid of those triggering shits. And I hate the word triggering, but it is a trigger. Get rid of that shit and go shopping with him and make him feel like the most important man, like the first man, like, reclaim that. Let your man have the delusion. Let your man have that illusion in his mind. Support that illusion and do nothing, absolutely nothing, to change that in his mind. Don't go into the drawer. If you know you knock boots with this certain something on, don't throw it out. If you're serious about the dude, throw it the fuck out and start fresh and go to your man and say, listen, I want to go shopping with you. How about we go, pick this up or that up over at the frickin' Love Shop or whatever. No, not the Love Shop. Forget that. At Victoria, whatever. You know what I'm saying. And make him have the ability to live in that delusion, because he's doing it for you. He's doing it for you. He's allowing you the grace to look past the fact that he didn't get the most precious thing that you have to offer a man, was given to probably some douchebag somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Under the bleachers at the high school prom, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying, that's how everyone rolls, but just as an illustration, let him have that illusion. Let him live in that delusion, and he will love you for it. And he will thank you for it. He'll be well aware of it. But allow him the grace, because it's your favor too. It's like, I wouldn't say exactly the whole born-again virgin thing, but if a dude's just willing to whitewash the fact, especially if you've been around the block a few times, you find a dude who's willing to just have a coping mechanism of, what I don't know don't hurt me. Roll with it. Encourage it. Let them live with it. Does that make sense? And I'm curious to hear what everyone has to think about all these things. Like I said, it's just my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. But I think if most people are honest, they'll agree. Might hurt a few feelings, might be some regrets involved, but we've all made mistakes. And they're almost all redeemable. And we're not even going to talk about the whole body count issue. Ugh. I'm the guy who says stuff. I'm the guy who says what a lot of other men or people will not. Because, I don't know, I believe in putting all the cards on the table. Like, immediately. Like, this conversation is like, let me take a step back, and I'll say I'm a firm believer in never, ever asking questions you don't want the answers to. So I never ask those questions, you know? And if a dude's, like, prying into your past sex life, that's freaking weird. There's something, he's either gonna weaponize it and use it against you, and the ladies, you listen to me now. He's going to use it against you in your future, down the road, or there's something wrong with him, or he's just looking to knock boots. You know, that's just the way it works. Yeah, do you feel me, ladies? You know, if a dude's prying about your sex life, you're not offering up details, because I would never in a million years have that discussion. I mean, like, randomly, yeah, you know, by the way, you know, I did this in the summer of '62 and all this. No, you know, it's in a relationship or even not. It's just like, it's nobody's freaking business except my own, you know? But if a dude's prying into your sex life, that's a huge red flag. That's a huge red flag. And don't fall for it. Even if, like, you're, you know, head over heels or whatever, if that conversation comes up, trust me, he will bring it up in the future. He'll be all over that shit, like, every time you get into a fight. He'll be like, oh, but what about Bob? Did you say that to Bob, too? The guy who banged you under the bleachers? You know what I'm saying? Just don't do it. Just be like, no, let's not say we did.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.